here. It is All In Weekend, AEW's biggest show of the year. Make sure to tune in later on after the show to the post show of All In that I'll be doing for you guys. I'll be going live immediately after the show. But before we get to the post show, I want to drop a predictions video for you guys. Like I said previously in my prediction video for SummerSlam, I am not responsible for you guys taking these picks and going to FanDuel or going to the casino. I do not want you guys hitting me up later on saying that you lost your wife, you lost your home, and you lost contact with your kids because you used my picks. Now, I'm going to work my way from the top to the bottom of this card, and I'm going to start with the pre-show match between Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway versus Ishii and Willow Nightingale. I'm going to go with Statlander and Stokely simply off the fact that we know that down the line at All Out, they already have a match set up. And this match has implications set up for that match as well. So you want to have the babyface overcome as many things as possible where she gets to this win. So I'm going to go with Statlander and Stokely simply off of that fact. Now we are going to go to the Trios Championship ladder match. We have the Patriarchy. We have the Bang Bang Gang. We have Wheeler Yuta, Claudio, and Pac. We also have the House of Black. And in this match, I am going to go with the Patriarchy. Ever since Christian Cage has donned this character of this father-like figure, he has been one of the highlights of AEW so far. I've really enjoyed this guy's work lately. I remember when he was in the WWE, he was one of those guys that you kind of knew he was good, but he was very unappreciated. I know for me personally, I always just kind of looked at Christian as a guy who was there. Of course, he had great moments with Edge, and he had the ladder matches in the early 2000s. But really, he was kind of, he's just there for me, you know. But I'm really into his character so far in AEW as his father figure. There's a lot of layers in it. I feel like this is going to be one of those matches that could potentially steal the show simply off of the fact that, you know, with AEW and ladders, you're going to see a lot of car crashes. You're going to see a lot of blood and guts. You're going to see a lot of violence. You're going to see guys flipping in the air. You're going to see a lot of strong men doing crazy things, but I'm going to go with the Patriarchy to retain this title simply off of the fact that Christian Cage is just too good right now, and I do not want to see this story end until we get a Christian Cage and Luchasaurus match where we see the Luchasaurus sit there and do things that we probably shouldn't be seeing done to another human being. Now, we are going to go to the Tag Team Championship match. We have a triple threat between FTR, the champion, the Young Bucks, and the Acclaimed. This one's a little bit harder for me to pick. I'm very kind of torn on this. My gut reaction is to say that the Young Bucks will win. We've seen FTR with the title before. We've seen the Acclaim with the title before. And matter of fact, we've seen the Bucks with the title before as well. But I feel like the EVPs at this point need the championship if they want to continue this storyline that they have right now of being power-hungry guys. They have the gold. They are the best tag team that AEW has to offer right now. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Take that as you will. But I'm going to go with the Bucks to retain. I think this is going to be a pretty solid match. We've seen these teams work together multiple times. I'm honestly just glad that we didn't get a straight-up, normal tag match between FTR and the Bucks because I'm kind of sick of those guys working together. But hey, I'm going to go with the Bucks on this one. Now we have Jericho versus Hook for the FTR title. This is a match that I honestly believe should be going on the pre-show as well, but it won't because it's Chris Jericho. I have absolutely zero interest in this match. I don't really like the learning tree like most of you don't as well, but it's one of those things where it's like I can see that at least they're trying something different. Even if you don't like what they're currently going on with Chris Jericho or what they're doing, at least you can give the guy his credit saying he's trying to do new things. This is a version of Chris Jericho that we've never seen before. I don't enjoy it, like I said before, but I'm going to give the guy credit that he's trying something new. I'm going to go with Hook on this one. I'm kind of feel bad for Hook. I feel like the guy should be doing things a lot differently than he is right now. I feel like the guy has the most potential in the world. He's a great athlete, has that lacrosse background. I feel like he should be a little bit upper in the card right now. There's been times in AEW where the guy has been one of the hottest acts in the company, and just somehow, some way, they have figured a way to really stifle that momentum and sink him into the Jericho vortex. But I'm going to go with Hook. I'm going to say that Jericho's going to do the right thing and put over the young guy. Next, we have Darby Allin versus Jack Perry in a casket match. I am going to go with Darby Allin. Jack Perry, I feel like since he's came back, he has done a very good job of making himself a more of an important part of the show. Prior to his return from his excursion, he was just another guy that was there. I feel like at least now Jack Perry has a bit more of momentum, and he's became a person who at least feels like he has some type of impact on the show. But I'm going to go with Darby Allin. And my prediction for this match is we will see an appearance from the icon, the legend, my personal GOAT, Sting. As we know, with Jack Perry, he is a member of the Elite, so I will expect a lot of cheeky shenanigans. And when we see cheeky shenanigans going on, we will see the icon, the legend, come back for one night and help out his old pal Darby to win back that TNT championship, and it will be glorious. So that is my final prediction for that match. I'm going to go with Darby Allin to get the W in this casket match. Next, we have the TBS championship between Britt Baker and the CEO, Mercedes Moné. Now, if you've seen any of my previous content before, I believe that Mercedes Moné is the greatest female wrestler of all time. She is the GOAT to me. Argue with your mama. The GOAT is Mercedes Moné, and I don't want to hear it. You tell me she's not the GOAT, I'm going, la, 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 la. I don't want to hear it. All right, she's the GOAT. All right, the GOAT. But in this match, I am honestly going to see that they're going to have Britt Baker win. It's not going to make me happy personally, but I do think that Britt Baker is going to secure the dub. And I think that she is going to secure the dub by getting help from the UK's own Jamie Hayter. Yes, I'm saying that because as we all know, the CEO, she has Camille, the big heavy, and we know that she is going to somehow figure her way into this match. And we are going to have the return of Jamie Hayter to sit there and even the odds. And I think that Britt Baker will take home the TBS championship at All In. That is what I'm going to go with. We are going to go with Britt Baker. Next, we're going to go with MJF versus Will Ospreay for the American Championship. Now, I think this is going to be a phenomenal match. We saw a few weeks ago them guys put on a classic 1-hour match. It was one of those situations where I felt like, man, I'm excited for this match. Going into it, I was excited, but my excitement levels were a little bit turned down because we saw them go for an hour. And after an hour, it's like, what else can you really do after you guys sat there and went out there for an hour? So, but what they've done for the last few weeks, making things a tiny bit more personal between these guys, my excitement levels have ramped up a little bit more, especially after that promo that they cut this Wednesday where things got really personal, where MJF was involving Will Ospreay's family. But my prediction is we're going to go with Will Ospreay. I think Will Ospreay is going to win that championship back, bring it back to the international championship, and he's going to secure a big win in London. And the UK fans are going to go insanely crazy. I predict it's going to be a great match between two great competitors. But at the end of the night, we are going to have Will Ospreay bring the gold home. Now, we also have the Casino Ladder match. We've heard rumors from the dirt sheets about different people appearing. Apparently, we have the great Ricochet that is supposedly supposed to be appearing, and that is going to be some really cool stuff seeing him in AEW. He's going to put on a clinic there. It's the perfect spot for him. We have other different rumors of other different returns from the dirt sheets that are confirmed and not confirmed, but none of that's going to matter to me because I am going with Hangman Adam Page as the winner. As we all know, this ladder match secures yourself a future world championship match. And I think they're going to go with the Hangman. Hangman Adam Page has been one of these characters since he's came back that has really interested me a lot. If you really sit there and go through things and wonder and you sit there and think, he's really not a heel. The guy is mad because somebody sat there and broke into his home, messed with his family, and has been able to be rewarded from that. So if you really think about it, he's not really a heel, but he's a heel. So I'm super interested in what they're going to have after this. I heard that the plan is to have Swerve versus Hangman at All Out. But like we said, this is from the dirt sheets. It's very hit or miss. But either way, I'm going to go with Hangman Adam Page to win the Casino Battle Royal. After that, I am going to go with Toni Storm versus Mariah May for the Women's Championship. This is the match that I've been toting for the last couple of weeks, that I consider that the feud between these two as the best feud in wrestling. I am looking extremely forward to this, which is probably the match that I'm looking forward to the most on the show. And I am going to go with Mariah May. Shocker, right? I think Toni Storm is a phenomenal character, and she is one of the highlights of AEW. She is also one of the best wrestlers in the world. That kind of gets glossed over a lot because of how great her character work is. But I'm going to go with Mariah May simply off of the fact that she has gained a lot of attention lately. She is going to be the future of the women's division, in my opinion. So I think that they are going to strap the rocket to her by giving her this championship and having this big moment in front of 50K people. Now we're going to go into the main event. Championship versus career. We have Swerve versus Bryan Danielson. This is a match that you could sit there and say is probably one of the more high stakes match in wrestling. This is probably the most high-stakes match since Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 26, when it was the Streak versus Career. I am looking forward to this match because if you remember, these two had a match on Collision a while back that was a banger, and I don't expect anything less than that. We have the career of Bryan Danielson potentially being on the line, and this could potentially be his best and last match. But I'm going to go with this is not going to be his last match. I'm going to go with the American Dragon to pick up the W. And I'm not saying that with any glee. I think Swerve has been great as the AEW champion. I don't want it to end. But one thing that people don't really consider, if you look back at different interviews and different articles and different dirt sheets has stated about Tony Khan's affection for legends, he really regards two men really, really highly. And those two guys are Danielson and Sting. And one of the things that Tony Khan really wanted for Sting was to put a championship on him and to say, once you go back on the archives and look at the title histories in AEW, he wanted Sting to be a part of that. And I feel like he wants the exact same thing with Bryan Danielson. He stated in interviews before that if something were to happen where he just drops dead, or it was a situation where he couldn't book a show, the one guy that he would want to do that would be Bryan Danielson. And that just shows you how much he respects Bryan Danielson as a wrestler, as a wrestling mind. He has called Bryan Danielson the GOAT multiple times. So I think we are going to get Bryan Danielson winning this championship solely off of the fact that Tony Khan wants him to be a part of that championship lineage. I don't want to see Bryan Danielson retire either, on a personal note. So I'm going to go with Bryan Danielson. But like I said before, this isn't bringing me joy because I do love Swerve. But this is what we're going to go with. These are my predictions. Let me know what you think. Drop your predictions in the comment section. Remember to like and subscribe. I am Kevin Zwicker. I'm out.